Down Chicago faithful, man. Let's go. Let's go. You guys excited? We have got a show for you on Chicago Sports Podcast today, man. I'm your host with the most. I'm also on the Believe Network also. So make sure you hit and like and subscribe, share this video, and hit that notification bell, okay? And I will also see you on Believe Network. So today, man, right here beside me, we are cooking something special, man. We got something in store for you. Okay. I know that this is a lot of hype and a lot of people are excited about this show because we have another one of the legends, man. Okay. A legendary show lined up is what we got in store for you, Chicago Bears faithful. That's right, baby. So check this out, man. We got a Chicago Bears defensive legend calling in live today. A man who terrorized quarterbacks, who helped build the reputation of Monsters of the Midway with his own two hands. Jim Ozzy Osborne is picking up the phone for us in about 5 minutes or so, okay? And when he's ready, we're not going to waste a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. I think he's calling in right now. Hello?
Hello, Brandon. It's Jim.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Man, I am doing great. How's things going with you?
Oh, good, sir. Good, sir. We were just talking about you and being the monster of the Midway that you are with your own two hands, man. And we're so excited that you picked up your phone to hang out with us. And then later on, afterwards, we're going to have one of the most respected Bears analysts in the game, PFSN own Jacob Infante, breaking down the draft because everybody's talking about the 2026 NFL draft and how it's potentially going to shape the Chicago Bears, and we need some of that help. So and also on top of that, Jim, we're going to be giving away 2 jerseys to lucky fans who entered. So 2 of y'all are about to win today, okay? So we're going to get down into all that stuff, but this is a show. This is a show. I'm excited, and I'll tell you what, Ozzy, I'm so excited that you've called in today, and I just want to talk about the Chicago Bears, the past, the present, and the future with you. Because um, honestly, right now I have not been so elated. We have hit some hard times, and you've been there from the worst to the best to the worst, and now good, better, best, and it's encouraging and exciting that we can actually interview with you while things are looking up instead of things looking down, because it makes you and me, our vibe and everything, just a whole lot easier to talk about, Jim. You know what I'm saying? When we got a good product in front of us that, as you as a Bears legendary alumni, you got to be tickled, right? I mean, you've been through some hard times, Jim.
Oh, absolutely. I go way back to 1972 when we started this and introduced to the family and playing with the Bears. And I mean, we had some very lean years early on. I mean, it was really scary as to how things were going. We couldn't score, and at times we couldn't keep our opponents from getting in the end zone.
Jim, I want to pause right there because we want the folks at home to understand that you were over a decade of dominance. You weren't just there for 10 years. That's a lifetime for some people. Can't even hold a job down for a year to 2 years, but you held a job down for 12 years as a gridiron warrior from 1972 to 1984. 12 years in the trenches, man. That is a warrior, Ozzy. For the fans who maybe are younger and don't know your story, what's it like in the league and playing on the Bears defensive line, man?
Well, when you take into account the average career is really about a little over 3 years. Now,
wow,
that's taking everything into effect.
3
When I
years.
came to the Bears back in 1972,
Yeah,
I had no idea that I was going to hang around that long. Of course, back in 1972, I was drafted in the 7th round, but back in those days, I think there were 17 rounds that each team had. So, which is a big change to what we have today. I think there's only 7 rounds today.
Right.
But back then, you went to camp. I can remember one year we had almost 150 guys in camp, and the
Wow.
lines were long, and you had to work your way up the chart. And coming in as a 7th round pick, you're not expected to make the team, and
Right.
so you couldn't afford to have too many off days during training camp. So every day, I mean, I put on the pads and I went out to war.
Yeah.
And that's the way I looked at it. And I had to prove myself every single day. You couldn't have a bad day, otherwise you were going home.
Wow.
So
You're taking us way back, man. I love this, man. Because that's the Bears DNA right there, man. That's exactly what it is. And Ozzy, you played for some incredible teams, some difficult years, and then you see the franchise eventually start to turn around, and people are commenting in left and right. Thank you for joining the show, saying you're a true legend. Hope your family is well and all that kind of stuff. So it's really encouraging to see this while we're talking. But like I said, incredible teams, man, difficult years. And then you saw it turn around in 85 for the Bears dynasty, one of the greatest defenses in history. What was the culture like in that locker room that made that defense so special that you helped build?
Well, all the credit has to go back to Buddy Ryan. He was the mastermind of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
And he put together a defense and players that were hungry and they wanted to get after people. The thing that I would say, when you look back over the Bears' history, even prior to me coming there, and I remember doing a little research once I was drafted by the Bears,
yeah,
they were always known for our defense.
Right.
We were always known for our defense. Matter of fact, one of the guys told me when I was on my way to camp, one of the veterans said, "Hey, if you want to make this team and you have an opportunity to fight, don't back down, fight." Okay.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's the way we were. We were a scrapping team. And even though we played guys and may have lost the game, but they didn't want to repeat the game with us because they knew they were hurting from the physicalness that we would bring to the game.
Oh, you know what? And that physicalness to the game and that attitude. You had the attitude. You had guys there like Singletary, Dan Hampton. You were an anchor on that line, man. And here's something that I did not know until I really took a good look. 6'3", 226 on the D line. That is, I mean, brother. You could have been a track star at 226 at 6'3". Like you were lean muscle, bro. That's just crazy. There's guys that are like plus 300 now in today's NFL, man. But it was that attitude, man. And you weren't a nice defense. You guys had an attitude, like you said, warriors, whatever. You guys got physical. You broke the other team's spirit before halftime. That was the job, man. When you have 11 men on the field who all believe in that same thing, I mean, it becomes something different. It becomes something that's hard to stop. So, I mean, here's the deal. You look at and you're watching the 2025-26 Chicago Bears defense. They ranked 29th in pressure rate, 35 sacks. Montez Sweat is out there working his tail off, but there's not enough around him, What do you see when you watch these kind of guys, man? I mean, it must make your stomach turn and just wish you could get out there and help if you could, if you could.
Well, especially, and you bring up something interesting, especially looking at these guys, knowing what they're getting paid.
Oh my gosh.
We're seeing.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you brought that up. I wanted you to bring that up before me, sir. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, that's the part that really turns my stomach.
Oh.
The thing that I got to say that was disappointing for me and and probably the guys that I played with, because from time to time we get together, we talk, and sometimes of course, we're on the phone, and you have texts going back and forth. But one of the biggest disappointment to me the past year was seeing the play of the defensive line. I was really disappointed the way we were being attacked and the way the other team, the offense, was moving the defensive line. I saw very few plays where guys would attack the ball at the line of scrimmage, make the hit on the offensive player, discharge the offensive player.
Oh, my God.
And then make the tackle for no gain or a loss.
Yeah.
That didn't happen too much.
Oh, gosh.
They would by the time the guy was on the ball, by the time the guy was on the ground, he had picked up 4 or 5 yards.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm saying, what the heck is going on? And this other thing, too, that I see, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. I mean, one of the guys who kind of set the tone for it, going back when Peanut played, and he had this punch thing where he would punch the ball out. That's really great.
Oh, my gosh.
When you can do it. But if you're trying to do that and the guy's still running yards, tackle the damn guy.
They're trying to do that. You see them try to do that, and it's like abandon ship. This is not working. Just make the tackle. You know,
just make the tackle.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
Ticks me off.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and really, this is not a negative shot at Peanut. He was great at what he did.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He also had guys that was tackling the guy for a minimum amount of yards.
Yeah.
Gain.
They work together. They work together as a team, and I think that's what I saw with you when you played, man. Because listen, if one guy on the D line was getting sacks, it was because the whole defensive line was doing their job. Everybody was eating, man. Nobody took any plays off or anything. You can't just have one guy terrorizing the quarterback and expect to win, man. The whole front four has got to be disrupted. And when I watch this defense right now, and I'm glad that you said it because you said it eloquently, and I look at stuff that just makes my stomach turn, where a running back is just gashing and they look like Barry Sanders or Walter Reborn coming through our freaking defensive line, and they're getting 4, 10 yards. And I'm like, why even throw the ball at that point? If you were getting that many, like I'm serious. Like, I don't want other people to hear this. I hope this is just only Chicago Bears fans and whoever, but listen, if you are listening, I hope we take care of this, because I'm telling you right now, all you got to do is run through that dang line and you're going to win the ball game, because that is the most demoralizing thing that a defensive lineman could ever deal with. As an offensive lineman, if you sack my quarterback, I find that very disrespectful and it really hurts my soul. So I could imagine from the other optics, from your standpoint as a storied legend, how bad it is to watch this, man. It's just too much for a single guy effort and not enough unit dominance up front, Ozzy?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like I said, I go back to Buddy Ryan, who put this thing together for us defensively.
Yeah.
There was no way he would stand for that type of play. We were all for getting after the offense and getting after the quarterback, getting after the running back.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter who we were playing. I mean, I go back, played against some heck of a running backs, but you didn't see those guys just constantly running through the defensive line like that. If they ran through the line, they were going to get tagged. And somewhere along the lines, they were going to pay the price for running the ball against us. So that's the thing that I look back, getting back to your question earlier about how I watched the game.
Yes, sir.
And what I think of the team.
Yep.
That part, it was a little disappointing. Not a little disappointing. It was very disappointing.
Yeah.
Seeing how they were controlling our defense. The thing that I was excited about, and I was very excited about, was the play that we had on the offensive side of the line. Man, this is the first time in a very, very long time that you could honestly say we have a chance of coming back from being down by a couple of touchdowns.
Uh,
For the longest,
yep.
if you played the Bears and you got up by 10 points, chances were you were going to win the ball game because we just didn't have it all together offensively to come from behind and win. When you look at the Super Bowl year, and of course that was my first year out of the game, but even looking at the offense there compared to the offense that we had last year and we're continuing to build on,
right?
I think there's more fire in that offense that we have now and what they did last year.
Wow.
Than even going back to 85. Now, of course, the thing that carried the 85 team was the defense.
Yes.
Buddy Ryan and the team that he put together, they were solid. The thing with the offense was that they were able to control the game because, we were in control on the defensive side.
Right.
I think back at one point during the lean years that we played with the Bears, my early years, man, you would come to the sideline and you would pretty much pray that the offense would just give you a chance to catch your breath so you could go back out there and hold the other team, because there were too many times you would come off the field after the team was driving on you. You come off, you're trying to get some oxygen, trying to get some water, and they go 2 plays. Next thing you know, defense, because the offense turned the ball over, and you got to go back out on the field.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say this. A lot of people are chiming in and they said it's a shame that there's not that dedication that you guys had back in the day. And I think they're not just talking about the defense, if I'm being real. I think they're talking about both sides of the ball. You did say the offense has cleaned up, but there's still a lot of work to do. And it could definitely be a lot better, but it does it does bring up some points where, like, this defense, I mean, I like what you said a little bit ago, that, and you gave all the credit to Buddy Ryan, but now here you got Ben Johnson in the building. And I will say this, I did like Lovey, but this guy right here, Ben Johnson, he feels like he potentially could be the real deal,
I think so.
Yeah.
The way the players respond to him, the way they gather around him. I like the path that he's setting and the way the guys are responding to it.
Oh man, it could be rah and all this and that, and it might sound good to us, but if it doesn't sound good to the players and they don't, like you said, respond, I think that is a lost thought. Not a lot of people have brought that up. I think you're one of the first people that I've heard. Maybe somebody else did, and I wasn't listening, but when you say it, it just resonates. I'm like, yes, it's how they respond. And he has a way. He knows what to say. He doesn't talk over him. He doesn't talk under him. He gets it to where, it's palatable, to where they can consume it and do something with it, and DT Honey Bear, she's one of the old, Honey Bear cheerleaders. She wanted to say hi to you, and she appreciates your dedication and devotion to this team. She said that. So yeah, she's
well,
that's pretty cool.
You're my best. Hello.
She's listening.
Yeah.
So Buddy and Doug says Buddy in the 46 was the top as all time. Nothing compares to that defense. So somebody
that was outstanding.
Somebody,
and of course, you bring up a guy 46 there. The 46 defense, was named after Doug, and the way he played, you just don't see guys playing like that.
No, you really don't, man. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad you did. I'm glad he did. It's just so special. And somebody also brought up that you won the Brian Piccolo Award, so they've done their homework. They're true fans over here, man. They know
Unbelievable.
They know their stories.
That goes way back, and man, that was an exciting time, and I still hold that dear. And of course, every year, and that's got to be coming up pretty soon here.
Yeah. Yep.
When the Bears make their presentation of the current recipient,
Right.
usually the guys that receive the award before, we get invited back up to Lake Forest, and they have a nice little thing that they put together, and we get a chance to see the new recipients and so forth.
You know,
So we're
Caleb,
kind of looking forward to that.
me too, man. I cannot wait. And to hear you excited and talk about that award and how special it is to you, it just makes me realize how important that is for folks at home. Can you explain how one gets the Brian Piccolo Award and what that actually is, sir?
Well, and of course, it's changed a little bit over the past few years. When I came in,
Yeah.
it was given to the Bears Rookie of the Year,
Okay.
and it was the guy that best exemplified the things that Brian stood for. And I remember even watching the movie when, of course, when I came in. I think I'm the second recipient of the award. There was one guy that got it before me.
Wow.
And so I'm the second year. But going back to watching the movie, if you guys can pull that up, of course, I came to camp right after that.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of those guys that were in the movie. You know, there's extras and so forth.
Yep.
And the things that Brian stood for as a player on the team, as a teammate, and also the things that he did in helping his community grow in that way. So that's who they gave it to for a number of years. Now, what they've changed it a little bit. Now they have two recipients because they give it to a rookie and to a veteran that best exemplified the things that Brian stood for. And of course, Brian's family comes back and they're involved with it as well. And it's really interesting to see because I'll follow that from the early stages when the kids were young to, of course, now they're adults, you know, his girls and so forth. And of course, his wife at the time, she usually participates. And of course, it's something that the McCaskey family endorses as well. When I think about it, I always think of Mrs. McCaskey because she would always be there. And the thing that I was always amazed by, and of course, this lady lived to be at a ripe old age, or young age, shall we say, of over 100. But she would always recognize me. And I was always taken back by that because for someone to have seen all the players that played for the Bears, when I showed up or came by to say hi to her, she would call me out by name. And that just always touched my heart. And of course, we miss her passing, and because she was the one that really took over the reins from Mr. Hallis and really continued, I guess, the drive that he had going to what it is today.
Absolutely, man. You said it best. There is a lot of people in this storied franchise, and you are one of them. And now when you look at this defense, oh my gosh, look at these rankings. 361 yards per game they gave up. That's 29th in the NFL. That's terrible. Rushing yards per game, 134.5. I hope you had your lunch, because if not, you're going on a diet after this. 27th. Passing yards per game, 227.2, 22nd in the NFL. And you want to know why we got rid of some of the guys who we thought we held dear and thought were so special? That's why, because they just weren't cutting the mustard. And points per game, 24.4, 23rd in the NFL. So like you said, you know, the thing about all this, as far as like moving forward, it's got to get better. But do you think, as it stands right now, with all the pieces in place, that this defense is good enough to compete in the NFC? Or do you still think there's a little work to do in this offseason, as well as drafting and all that?
Well, I definitely think there's work to be done.
Yeah.
You know, you can't sit back on when you look at the numbers speak for themselves in the South, in the sense that, hey, we didn't do our job defensively, and that was a little disappointing. So I think they've made some good moves. You have to continue to be very aggressive in the draft that's coming up, and I think the Bears are going to do that as well. So we need to continue to attack in that sense. And I think once we get that mindset and we get the guys in place by the time the season starts, I think I like our chances. I really do.
Yeah.
When you look at the other teams in the league, in the conference that we're in, I like our chances.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel good looking forward to playing the Packers this year. And I mean, playing them both times. I have that good feeling that, hey, we can compete. They're not going to be able to control us the way they've done us in the past.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly, 100%, man. And I'll tell you what, here's the deal, folks. I think you guys really need to understand what's going on here, man, because Ozzy was just on our show, man. This is why you're a legend, baby. This is why you're a legend, man. Chicago Bears faithful, Jim Osborne, everybody. Okay. So what's your last and final message for the Bears fans in 2026? Last question. What do you want them to know, brother? What would you like to send them away with, sir?
Well, the old adage, hey, bear down, because knowing that we're going to come to camp ready to play, ready to fight, and just take charge of the conference. That's what I feel that we're going to do this year. And that's what I want the players to be able to come into camp ready to pack it in and just take on all comers.
Oh, man, you heard it first from Ozzy, man. He said they're still building something. It's not done yet, but the foundation is there, is what I'm hearing. The quarterback's there. I know he's got the stamp of approval. He believes in what Caleb's doing. The coaching is there. He likes Ben Johnson. He says that they're responding, and now they need to add the defense and take that next step. He's saying be patient. Be patient because it's there. Don't be patient just because that's something that people just say all the time. There's patience is a virtue for a reason, and the reason is we've got something, is what I hear. So he's also saying don't stop believing because it's coming. And I know I sound like Journey, but bear down. And thank you so much for joining the show. I'd love to have you on again, and maybe I could bring one of your friends with you next time.
Sounds good.
Okay, Ozzy. Again, thank you so much, man. This was everything for us, man. People are so elated and so grateful for a legend like you to be on our show. Tell your family we said hello, and we're so grateful for your time, brother.
All right. You take care.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now up on deck, man, we have got a show for you because it's not over yet, guys. We've got another guest, man. We're hitting a double hitter today, okay? We're going back to back, okay? Because I need to tell you about our next guest, all right? This guy is something special. I don't know how he does it, man. He sounds like my old teacher before he bounced me out of the classroom in trigonometry. So what are you doing here? There's no way, because my eyes rolled backwards and I couldn't understand half of what he was saying, okay? But he's one of the Bears' best draft analysis in the country, in the nation, folks. His work is featured everywhere, man. He is everywhere. He is the lead draft analyst for Windy City Gridiron and a staff writer at PFSN, the Pro Football Sports Network, man. He's been doing mock drafts for the Bears for quite a while, man. And honestly, he is genuinely one of the best tools, has most of the tools that you guys need to hear. And we're bringing him on the show. He's been on the show a few times. It's hard to get him in the building because he is so stinking busy. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for none better than Jacob Infante.
Hey, My something's going on with my camera. I got to figure it out.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
give me a
yeah. No,
sec
I
here,
just
but
saw you
yeah.
backstage. I just saw you backstage. It was on. I could see you. And now
Mm,
I'm looking at the screen. But yeah, I'm sure you'll get that fixed. If you want to
yeah.
come back in or something, I don't know, but we're okay right now. So I'm glad you're here. There you are.
Wait,
I
hold up,
see you.
hold up. This
What
is
am I
my
looking at? Is that a jersey?
shirt. What? It's my shirt. I don't know why it's going like this. Wait,
You got it,
what's?
you got
Oh,
it in
something's
reverse,
going on. Something's going
ups,
on. Hold on.
upside down. Yeah, just
Yeah,
come.
this is new to me.
Ja- Jacob.
I'll be back in just a sec. I gotta figure this
Okay, yeah,
something
I
out.
just was gonna tell you we just got off the phone with Ozzy, and now we're excited to have you. So yeah, come right back, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hold on
no,
one sec.
yep, yeah. So like I said, man, what a great show. I was glad you guys were all here for that. He really appreciated it. It was special to have him in the building. There you go. And like I said, Jacob just got off with Ozzy Osborne, Jim Ozzy Osborne, the Bears defensive legend, not the rock star. Um, Definitely need to clarify that. You know what I'm saying? And he said something that stuck with me, Jacob, really quickly. Okay. Uh, Fix the inside first, interior defensive line before anything else, is what he said. From your draft analysis, do you agree with that as the Bears' top priority in this April draft, sir? Oh, your mic's off. Shows that your mic is muted. You muted
Jeez, there you
yourself.
go. Great,
You're good. You're good.
wonderful
I
start
like
for
that
me.
hat. Hey,
I don't know.
can I say something? Can I say
Yeah.
something really quick? Because I noticed you got a really special hat on, and I
Oh
love the
yeah.
work that they do. If you go into your options for the camera or video, you can actually turn the mirror off. Because I know a lot of people you use StreamYard and all of that, and this is a different tool. So then you would be forward facing, and you could see the
Oh
C on
yeah.
correctly, including your clock, which is actually it's small, but it really helps out the viewers. They like it. It's helped me out. I
Let's
got mine
see.
on
Let
there right
me.
there.
Yeah. Let
Yep.
me figure out if I can.
There you
Hold
go.
on. There we go. Yeah.
There
No.
you
No.
go.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
easy.
That's new.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's
Yep.
news to me. Yeah. That's pretty sweet though. No, I love that.
So yeah, defensive line, interior. How do you feel about what Ozzy said? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that the way this roster is constructed right now, I think the
Mhm.
defensive line still needs a lot of work, especially along the interior. I mean, you see, like they brought in Neville Gallimore, as a free agent signing. I think that's an upgrade over, in the rotation, but I still think the starting lineup is a bit of a work in progress. So
Sure.
I think if you look at that, I think that should be a priority to at least have some early investment in the draft along a defensive tackle, defensive end as well. Uh, but I think that you watch over the games from 2025 and it's just pretty consistent. There's a lack of pressure up front, and I think that the way that Dennis Allen's scheme like ideally works
Yeah.
is you have pressure coming up the middle, and you have these explosive, faster defensive tackles who are able to wreak havoc right up the middle, and then that opens up opportunities for the edge rushers to clean up. And then as the quarterback's scrambling or something like that, or they throw the ball away early and make a bad throw, uh, there's a lot there. So I think that I think the interior defenses should definitely be a priority. In this draft, 100%.
Yeah, and you know what? You brought up Gallimore. Could you bring us up to speed on Gallimore really quick, please? Something that we need to know about him because he's not really a household name for some of us. You know what I mean? Is there something that he possesses that will definitely help us out this year that would make our defense better?
Yeah, so I think he fits that criteria of, a little bit on the smaller side for a defensive tackle, but he's explosive and he's shown that he can, create some pressure up the middle. Uh, Again, purely a rotational guy. Like I'm not going in and expecting him to be a 3 down starter at a very high level or anything like that. But he's someone who can, has a little bit more juice than what the Bears were used to up the middle this year. So I think that should be helpful. Just and keep the other guys fresh too. I mean, we've seen the last two Super Bowl winners, the Eagles and the Seahawks. They've both done it with super deep defensive lines, both at edge, both at defensive tackle. So
Yeah.
having a guy like Gallimore in, I mean, that's not going to be the star of the show. It shouldn't be for a high level defensive line, but he's someone who can come in, take some snaps, create some pressure up the middle, and make some plays there.
Yeah. I mean, the Bears, they've got the 25th picks overall, right? So they also had this huge haul for DJ Moore, right? A trade to Buffalo. Now they have 4 picks in the top 90. 4 top 90 selections, Jacob. Who are the names that make the most sense at 25? I'm gonna let you unpack that for a little bit because I got to do a little side work for something that you and I got coming up here in a little bit. So
Oh yeah, so I think that looking at 25, I mean, sticking with the defensive line in particular, there are a good handful of guys where if you have, a defensive tackle, I think Peter Woods out of Clemson's my top choice. I think if you're looking for defensive tackles, he's probably the top guy in this class, the most likely to be like a true 3-down starting defensive tackle, in my
yep.
opinion. Uh, so you see him. I think Kristen Miller out of Georgia would be another option to where maybe not as proven as a pass rusher just because Georgia rotates their defensive line so much, but an effective pro ready run defender. And then looking off the edge too, I think it's a really talented class.
Yeah.
Maybe someone like Akeem Mesidor out of Miami falls. I mean, he's older as a prospect, but incredibly powerful, polished edge rusher, someone who can make an impact right away.
Right.
Uh, Keldrick Falk, I know, is a polarizing prospect because he's more tools than he is like, consistent production, but he fits the physical aspect of what Allen likes at an edge rusher to a T. Very explosive for a guy who's 6'6", almost 280 pounds. And then you have your guys like Zion Young out of Missouri and TJ Parker out of Clemson, who I think both of them are, kind of power first as edge rushers, or at least what they're good at. Both of them to varying degrees have the ability to win with speed, to win with finesse in their hands. But I think that really, if you're looking for like a true base 4-3 defensive end, either one of those would fit. And then you're going to safety too. I mean, maybe they look at Dylan Thieneman. If Dylan Thieneman's there, which I don't think he will be at 25, but you never know. Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo is a hot prospect at this time of year. Very successful in the MAC. Big bodied, versatile safety. There's a lot to like there. So I think you're looking predominantly at defense there at 25. So, you never know who it's going to end up being, but I think, those are some of the top guys that I'm looking at there in that range.
Is there anyone later on in the draft that you feel like could be like a Jade Walker? Not in the sense of like receiver. I'm not trying to pigeonhole the question like that, but just some guys out there that could really maybe even scratch a starter for here or there, or even, make their name. Because make no mistake about it, man, we might have our 3rd best receiver. Well, I don't know, because now we've got that kid from the Lions, and I think he's actually going to end up being pretty good. So now, once again, Jade Walker's still looking for timeshare. You know what I mean? But still, he's on the roster for a reason, and he's doing pretty good. Is there somebody in the draft that maybe we should look at? Or a few guys, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first one I'll go with I'll stick with receiver. I think there are a couple of really intriguing late round receivers, but I like Eli Heidenreich out of Navy. So he's someone where Navy lined him up everywhere. Some project him as a running back, receiver, tight end, H back, fullback, whatever it might end up being.
Wow.
I think I like him best as a receiver because I think that he's got reliable hands, very low drop percentage in 2025. And he's a smart route runner too. Like he knows how to work leverage, going through his stems to be able to exploit, the whatever coverage he's facing, whatever looks the defensive backs are giving him. He's good in that regard.
Gotcha.
Shifty after the catch. He's someone I think he's a lot of fun to watch. I think he's someone who can outperform his eventual draft stock. I can move to tight end. I think Dan Valeri out of Syracuse is somebody that I really like. He didn't get a
Wow.
combine invitation, which I think was a little bit of, little disappointing because he started off as a quarterback in college. And, you see that experience in how he reads zone coverage, how he works himself open to be able to exploit different looks and coverage. And very good athlete,
Mhm.
fluid mover across the seam. I like a lot of what he brings as a receiver. A little raw as a blocker, but you expect that for someone who's new for the position. Uh, I'll go another guy on along the defensive line, like later round types. Jordan Vandenberg out of Georgia Tech is
Yeah.
somebody tested incredibly well.
Mhm.
Started off I believe at Penn State. I have to go back and check my notes, but I know, went over to Georgia Tech. He's been a member of Bruce Feldman's Freaks List over
Yeah.
at the Athletic the last couple of years.
Yep.
Explosive off the snap, very impressive raw power
Wow.
at the point of attack. He's got a
Yeah.
dense frame,
Mm.
very consistent in regards to his. You see the physical traits show up, and I think, slowly but surely over the course of his collegiate career, you get a better understanding of how to use his hands, how to shed blocks, stuff like that. So he's someone to where, again, not a combine invitation, but he was somebody who, did really well at his pro day. And, the tape, you can see the flashes of that promise to where, if they take a 6th round, 7th round flyer on him, or he's an undrafted free agent, whatever it ends up being, I think he could really surprise some people.
Right. I like the guys that are surprising and guys that you don't really know about. And I'm just I'm amazed at how you could keep up with all this and all these names are just there. It's just crazy. But the names that I keep coming back to, they're just more of like a household name because I've seen them, and I'm not really like deep into it like you are. But for schematics for Dennis Allen, for me, it's Peter Woods out of
Mhm.
Clemson and Kristen Miller. I believe you said the name earlier. If
Yeah.
either of those guys are top 25, which is possible, I think that would be a good outcome for us. And that tracks with what you were saying earlier. And that's also something that Jim Osborne was talking about, the interior defensive line first. You know what I mean? There are some questions about his arm length, and maybe you could get into that. I know he's only 21 years old. I like how explosive he is, at least from what I see, but you're looking at all his highlights and stuff and cone drills and all that fun stuff. But you know, I don't know, man. And I don't know if we really want to move up multiple spots for that. I feel like we have a good amount of draft picks, even if we had those compensation draft picks. And I don't know if that's out the window or not, but yeah, it'd be cool if we could still get those potentially. Um, I think out of those two guys though, the Peter Woods and Christian Miller, I think he's a more pro ready run defender. I don't know if you feel about that or not, but I think he's smart against the run. He's got good spatial awareness, and he's upside as a pass rusher. Even though they're talking about his short arms, maybe you could talk about somebody that has shorter arms and that's still successful. But I think he's like more polished right away. Even though I really get excited about Peter Woods because he's kind of got like that, Aaron Donald type look to me. You know what I'm saying? So either guy would be immediate upgrade, right? But I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so I think that specifically with the shorter arms, that it's definitely he came in. It was fifth percentile for arm length at the defensive tackle position. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're looking for length at the position, that's definitely not your guy. But I think he more than makes up for it with how he uses his hands. And I think that's something that's very valuable too, where a lot of people get caught up in the measurables, and that can definitely help. But I think that people overlook that there are ways around it a lot of the time. There are ways that guys can overcome some of those physical disadvantages where you watch at the collegiate level where if you time your strikes properly, if you have a good understanding of what moves to use in order to string them together, and to beat to beat blockers at the point of attack, uh, I think it doesn't necessarily matter as much if you have long arms. If you're able to, you know, if you're able to shed those blocks before they can get their hands on you and before they can use that length
Yeah.
to their advantage, I think that that's something that, Woods does very well. Whether it's, with, maybe it makes it a little bit tougher to win with power where, the long arm or the bull rush are a little bit more difficult. But if you have the quickness, if you show through like spin moves, through cross chops, through swipes, through spins, whatever it might be, you have a lot to work with. And Woods knows how to string moves together and how to win at the point of attack. So, uh, I think that that's something he can overcome. He's proven he can do it in college, and I think that at the NFL level, he should be able to do that as well.
Mhm.
I get the concerns for sure. I mean, it's definitely it definitely becomes a little bit tougher uh, to be able to consistently do that in the NFL. But I think that there's a lot to like with him, and he
Yeah.
knows how to be able to he knows how to be able to overcome some of the physical disadvantages that he has.
Well, yeah, is there somebody out there that, is successful with short arms that you could think of that at first everybody's like, "Why are you doing that?" And all of a sudden, recent times that he's done pretty good, or is anybody off the top of your head or
Yeah, I mean, you could point to Aaron Donald too, honestly. I know you mentioned that where
yeah.
he came in with, pretty short arms, all things considered.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he was
Huh.
even small, he was smaller than,
Bro, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. Because when you look at him, all you see is muscle and jacked and fast and strong. And even if he wasn't exactly proportional, I don't think anyone's trying to say anything. You know what I mean? Because,
no.
yeah, but that's a
Yeah.
that's a good point. Like that guy right there, slick quietly because of his work and his effort and what he does. Those numbers nobody dares bring up like your fingers or whatever it is. His arms. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but back off. But somebody just gave you a shout out for your cream sleeve special edition hat, man. Nice
Yeah.
job picking flip threads. You want to give them a shout out or say anything special about them guys?
Yeah, so, yeah, I got this for Christmas, I think. There's a running joke that my dad
So,
may or may not be cream sleeve. Yeah, I'm not gonna say one way or the other whether he is, but cream sleeve hooked me up with with a custom hat. I think yeah, kick flips and threads did a good job with getting that set up. So
love it.
it's a cool hat. You can see like like the brooms or whatever
Let's
that
go.
is,
Yep.
the mop and
Wow.
everything. The
Yep.
janitor thing. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a cool hat, so I
It
don't
is
know. I
cool.
just I thought it'd be,
Yeah.
nice to, give him a shout out here.
Absolutely, man. And you always do a good job at that. Now, Jacob, I want to say this. You've done mock drafts, okay, where you trade back from 25. You actually had one trade down scenario where the Bears moved from 25 to 31, I believe, with New England. Pick
Mhm.
up a 2027 second rounder and still get their guy. Is that a real possibility there? Do you think that could happen, bro?
I mean, I think that'd be fantastic. I think,
Yeah.
like, in this class specifically, I don't think there's gonna be a massive drop off from the guys that you take in the 20s to the guys you take in the 40s. So, I if you can move back,
Yeah.
that would definitely be ideal. Pick up an
But
extra, like, an extra 3rd round pick or a future 2nd or whatever that might end up looking like depending on how
are
far back you move.
Are you scared of dropping out of the 25, top 25 and not getting your guy, or is there still a possibility that you could get the guy that we really need moving forward?
I'm not in this class. I'm not too worried. I think that in other years that's definitely more of a of a stress. But I think that there's a bit of a divide between like your top prospects and
Mhm.
then the rest of everybody, like the late first round, second
Yeah.
round guys.
Okay.
I think you can move back 5, 10, maybe even 15 spots and get a similar caliber player
Wow.
uh, with that selection. So we'll see. I think that's much easier said than done, obviously, because it requires another team to trade up to have someone that they want to trade up for. Which
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen this year, but
Sure.
if they end up doing that, I'd be very happy because I think that's
Really?
where the
Okay.
meat and potatoes are. This class is if you can get an extra like 3rd round pick or something like that,
Yeah.
an
Well,
extra top 100 pick in that regard, I think that'd be huge.
Well, I mean, you talk about moving back 5, 6, 10 spots, whatever. So, hey man, that could be your future sponsor right there. That protein drink you got there.
Yeah, we'll
Going.
see. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
but that's adding a pick to an already stacked haul. You already got 4 in the top 90, which is like crazy work there. 5, and then it ended up being force multiply 5 picks of value. That's how you build a roster, man. You hear this? More picks. Poles loves acquiring picks. I know. And Jacob, let's talk about the other picks. Picks 2 at 57, which came from DJ Moore trade. What do you see there? Do you see any pressure to go after his replacement, or you think that there's space to be okay with choosing another position at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that you're in a decent position to go with a different position there.
Mhm.
I think that, like you mentioned, you're bringing in Khalif Raymond over from the Lions, I think should be a serviceable enough wide receiver 3. And, Jade Walker, you're projecting in a bigger role for the offense as well. I think if you're looking at that, uh, then it's not as big of a need. I think you look at it, you have Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. All 5 of those guys are going to
That's
be
right.
getting a decent amount of targets.
Wow.
Whichever receiver you take, whoever the wide receiver 3 ends up being, they might end up being 6th on the team in targets. I don't think that's as big of a need
No.
as, say safety or,
Smart.
the defensive line, or if you want to get like a center or something too in the mix to, push Garrett Bradbury for a starting
Mm.
position. Uh, I think there are bigger needs elsewhere, and honestly, I think there are probably going to be better values elsewhere in this draft class. I think that especially in that late second round range, there's still going to be a ton of value in the trenches, in the secondary as well. So
Mm.
safety, maybe even corner. I don't know if they end up drafting a cornerback early, but I wouldn't totally rule it out. Uh, but yeah, I think that there's a lot of really good value elsewhere at bigger needs. So
Yep.
at least in this case, with the Bears bringing in Raymond, I think they're fine enough at wide receiver 3, and I think there are going to be bigger, uh, probably better values, honestly, at other positions there.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. I shot you a text right now. Just
Yeah.
you bring up a good point that you have enough depth at receiver, and everybody can catch the ball, and we're good at that, and whatever. So let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you how you feel about the top 3 or 4 being defensive only. Do you think there's space for that? And it's crazy because I think I talked to you last year, Jacob, before the draft. And the thing about it is Jacob, I think you were telling me, or it might have been someone else. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was you, that this draft class was better at the tackle position, offensive tackle position, than last year. And so you didn't really expect anything out of the first round because this year's offensive tackle draft class rates higher or something like that. So why is it that and listen, Trapillo's not ready. He's not going to probably be ready all year. Why I'm okay with us not going after a guy like Caden Proctor, and I'm okay with looking at like a defensive line instead of offensive line right now. What changed there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think that, I mean, there's still going to be plenty of talented offensive tackles who come off the board in this class. I think, well, one, most of them I think are going to be off the board by the time the Bears pick at 25, and I think
Yeah.
there's a pretty steep drop between the first round talents in this class and the day 2. There's not much day 2
Mhm.
value at tackle in this class, in my opinion. It goes the round 1 fringe, round 2 guys, and then you're looking at fringe round 3, round 4. Like there's a
Well,
pretty steep drop in that
so,
regard.
so are you saying like there's nobody that we could pick up that'd be a potential starter out of after the 4th round of the draft? Is that what you're looking at as far as talent goes? Unless one drops, because you know how like it's like a me too clause. You see receiver and then the receivers, then it'll run for running backs. You know where I'm going with this and all this,
Yeah.
safety, whatever. And I do want to ask you something about safety, because I've had legends like Doug Plank on in guys like Fensicon. And one thing they say, if your safety is leading the tackles on your team, your defense is not good at all because they're your last line of defense. And whether you play down in the box or whatever, they're not going to play all the time. Then they're like a linebacker or something. So, or a corner or nickel, I mean. And so, I feel like I know a lot of people are saying that they could see polls go after safety in the first or second round, but help me find balance there because of what they're saying about a safety having the most tackles. How do you make sense out of all that? Because I get what they're saying, but I still see a safety as real value, and I don't want to lose anybody that can get bulk, high tackle volume, and all that kind of stuff because I think that's important too. Even D line, like where is the healthy balance there? I guess because I'm glad I'm not polls and I have to make this decision. Okay, I'm just talking about this with you, and I already feel stressed out.
Yeah, so I still think that safety should be a priority. I mean, I wouldn't take I probably wouldn't take a safety in round 1 in this class. I think that there's probably going to be better value elsewhere, but at the same time, it's still, you still have an open starting position for sure.
Mhm.
Like you're looking at, I mean, you've signed Kobe Bryant in free agency, but Kevin Byard's gone now, Jaquan Brisker's gone,
Mhm.
CJ Gardner Johnson's gone. There's a pretty sizable gap as far as what you're looking at strong safety there, and I think that for someone who's probably going to be taking a decent amount of snaps, that's still a position that you should be prioritizing. Uh, whether it's probably like second or third round, I think is probably where you're going to be looking at that instead of the first.
Mhm.
But no, I still think it's a valuable position, even if it's not as valuable like one on one as say an edge rusher or a corner or a defensive tackle or something like that. It's still helpful. It's the last line of defense, absolutely.
Mhm.
And you don't want that type of guy to be leading the team in tackles, but if something does go wrong with your cornerbacks, you want to make sure that you have good safeties to make plays there. And I think uh, another thing Dennis Allen likes to do too, usually, is have that interchangeability with his defensive backs, where you
Mhm.
have guys covering in the slot, you have him in the box, you have him covering underneath or up high. Really mix up some looks, keep the offenses guessing. So I think they're going to look for that uh, in the draft this year, relatively early still.
You know what? I like that you say that, and I just need a little bit of balance though, because do you understand what they are saying about your safety being the top tackler? Because you're essentially, I feel like if you get one early, and you just said that it might not be a good way to do that, and what I mean by the draft and prioritize safety early. I mean, okay, I guess we might as well just fire up the mock draft simulator so I could see it
Yeah.
on paper and figure it out because to me, TJ Parker makes sense, but now what am I doing? Am I getting Peter Woods and TJ Parker? Like, am I a Clemson fan all of a sudden, or what's going on? Because, like, dude, is there a possibility for stuff like this to happen? I guess let's just fire it up and let's get going. But before we get into that, we got a wheel of names. Would you like to do that right now or to the ends of the show? How did you tell the folks at home about that on XApp, especially?
Yeah, so I feel like let's fire it up now.
Fired
We
up
got the
now?
names. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think
Okay.
people are pretty fired up about it. So
Excited. Yeah.
let's give the people what they want.
Oh, you do some great giveaways too, and I was glad that I could partner up there with you on this
Yeah,
one. And it
yeah,
was great, man, to grow both our platforms. And this
no,
community is
absolutely.
awesome that you've created, and we got a pretty good one too. So here is the wheel of names. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up on the screen really quick, and give them a little background about what we're doing here.
Yeah, so the last want to say like 2-3 weeks or so, we put together a giveaway for is Caleb Williams like jersey giveaway. So
Mhm.
we have like a list of names. It's like, oh, if you follow us, follow both of us, like this
Mhm.
tweet, then you're entered in. So we have like a wheel together here, and then we're gonna just figure out exactly who we're gonna be giving it to.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. That's basically what it's coming down to. I like what's going on here. I think it's super cool. And we're gonna go ahead and do two picks out of these 10. We've narrowed many people that were on his and mine collectively, and we're gonna give two jerseys away. One from his side and one from our side. And I'll let you know what we have in stock and we'll ship them out to you. So tell me how many spins you want for the first jersey giveaway, to keep it a little, suspenseful instead of just doing one and one. How many spins, and then the whatever one, say if it's like three, then the third one is the person that gets it.
Uh, I'm kind of saying let's go all in. Say go big or go home. Let's do the one and see because
Okay.
I
I
yeah,
like
because I
that.
wouldn't want to I
I
wouldn't want to
like
be the
that.
person where it lands on me the first time and it doesn't count.
I've
And
always
then
wondered about that. We have jersey raffles, and we do use this a lot, right? And
yeah.
so, and we haven't ran into that yet. But I do see what you're saying there. So yeah, I agree. One of one for both of them, and here we go. So here's a spin. Okay, wherever it
There we go.
wins, runs, and it's randomized. You guys can see it live here. Okay, and just so you know, this is for our jersey giveaway. This is not my jersey giveaway that I normally do, and that'll be done later. As a matter of fact, I believe that is coming up later on today. We'll get into that. So here we go. All right. Good luck out there, everybody. And the first winner looks like is Weidman Preston.
Here we go.
Congratulations. You just won a Chicago Bear jersey, Weidman Preston. And slide into Justin, talk to him, or we'll reach out to you and we'll tell you what we got. Okay. So, and if we don't have your size or whatever, we will order one for you. Okay. Here goes the second one. Chicago Mike.
Here we go.
Solid name. I like that. Chicago Mike. You're a winner. Chicken dinner. All right, cool. That was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody for joining our giveaway. That was so fun. I'm hoping we can do another one soon. I got a bunch of autographed coming in, and I think that would be special to maybe do an autographed jersey or two next time if you want to partner with me and do that one also, Jacob. That'd be super dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to say to the winners before I close the wheel? Or
Yeah, no, just congratulations, you guys. What I can do, I can send over like DMs to them and be like, hey, reach out to you and
yeah,
get the coordinated. So
sure.
I'll send that out and just
Thank you.
let the lucky winners know that they're coming home with brand new Bears jerseys.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad that they're going to be hooked up and ready for the season because it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be a special one, Jacob. And hey, guess what? If we get it done right now, ladies and gentlemen, you could wear that at wherever you're going to metabolize your mock draft party at, maybe you guys are going to travel with Jacob and go watch his mock draft party, so I'm sure that'd be pretty special, man. Pretty dope for sure.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a little mock draft here right now. So stay tuned for that. And Jacob, I guess I want to talk about edge rusher before we start making our picks, because honestly, it's hard to pick which one is, honestly the guy for us. I'm a little gun shy. I'm a little skeptic. So can you walk through with what the stuff you're looking at and why it matters for the Dennis Allen defense and all of these kind of things, and what goes through your brain when you look at these guys, and who would potentially be there either first or second round, sir?
Yeah, so I think that, I mean, obviously, over the course of the season, the defensive line just struggled with getting consistent pressure, whether it's up the middle or off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
It still stands out as a pretty big need, and they haven't
Mm-hmm.
really done anything at this stage to fix anything. I mean, it's still the same group right now, and I mean, you're kind of hamstrung with Dio Dangbo having that, and you're forced into that contract to where, I mean, he's could once he comes back, he could be a solid contributor, but you're still paying him a ton of money
Mm.
coming off the injury now and the bad season. It's like, I don't know. So I definitely think that that's something that you got to prioritize early in this year's draft. Especially this year. I think round 1, you should be able to get a decent amount of value there,
Yeah.
and even in round 2, I think there are a good handful of players where, they have the physical attributes that Allen likes at the position, and, for one reason or another, they're not projects. Obviously, nobody is going into the NFL, but, uh there's a lot to like with a lot of these guys. And I think if whether you're looking for a speed rusher, a power rusher, something in between, I think that you could be able to get some decent value in this class in round 1 or round 2. So, yeah, I mean, I think that it should be a top priority for them in this draft here next month.
Hey man, somebody brings up a really good point. They say Poll says best player available and takes Hippolyte in 4. Is he lying to us, or what's going on? And that's a good question. I feel like that's fair. I don't think he's being too,
Yeah, I mean, that one pick, like, was confusing to me, honestly. Maybe they were just really high on him. I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess that had to have been the case to take him in the 4th round when he was a
Yeah.
consensus undrafted free agent. But
Mhm.
I mean, hey, everyone evaluates differently. Everyone's got things that they're looking at. Maybe they were
Yeah.
just really high on him. So
Mhm.
it's tough to tell from an outsider's perspective. But uh, definitely, as far as the consensus goes, it was pretty out there for sure.
And also to the point of, then you get, and we're not hearing the positive thing, about, the running back that we picked up. My gosh, why didn't we lead
Yeah.
off with Manungai? And then, that was best player available. And a lot of people are probably kicking themselves in the face, for not picking that guy up sooner. He could have been drafted a lot sooner if you really look at how he played. Like, my gosh, people are like, why didn't we get that guy? Whoever drafted him is a genius. Ryan Poles, So, and you're not going to hit on every single draft. Like, is there a GM out there in real time that has ever hit on every? No, not at all.
No.
And the one that I come to mind all the time is Belichick. And yeah, he wasn't a GM, but he's as close to one as he could. I feel like he had like the best linear, path to make all the decisions for
Yeah.
New England Patriots. And he was actually really bad. So it wasn't for his coaching and having the GOAT on his team and, and honestly good with free agents and trades and things like that. I feel like you can upgrade your team 3 ways. I always say free agency, trade, and draft. So
Yeah.
you're not going to hit on every single one of them. And yeah, I think Hippolyte's still out though. We'll see what happens with him. I mean, he got injured and they put him in special teams and stuff. I mean, it's still a possibility. I don't think it's time to get rid of him just yet. Do you? Or do you think there's still a little bit of space for him there?
Yeah, no, I think he's still going to be on the 53-man roster. I mean, probably as a special teamer. Like, I don't see him,
Right.
I don't see him in, cracking the starting lineup. But I mean, hey,
Mhm.
if someone goes down and he performs well, you never know. But
Yeah.
I think right now you're looking at him strictly as a special teamer. But I
Yeah.
still think he makes the 53-man roster.
Yeah. Fair question though, for sure, Illinois. So let's get started. So what we've got here, Jacob is going to be our GM. And he will look and see what you guys got, but keep in mind he makes the final decision, and I'm just the guy that pushes the buttons. So here we go. We're going to be the Bears. We're going to go 7 rounds, and this is PFSN Mock Draft Simulator. This is the one that we always use, guys. And we're going to go with the select draft speed fast, and select players list is PFSN. So are you ready, Jacob?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Are you going to look at trades too, or are you just going to go straight up?
I'm going to I'll look at the trades that the computer offers me. I'm not going to go out of my way to trade up or trade down with anybody, but if one comes in, I'll look at it.
Yeah. We didn't square up with something you and I talked about before we did the show, but I'm sure we can do it another time for the next mock draft that we were talking about. So, but this is still dope. This is really cool. I'm excited, man. These guys are excited because they all know, and I've told them all time and time again, You helped me secure Ian Cummings for an interview, and he did a great job. He's part of PFSN, and so are you, man. I mean, you guys, you guys are great. So,
No, thank you.
and in real time, there was a couple things that came up, and he goes, "I need to address these so that way this doesn't happen again." I think somebody fell out of the first round into the second, was available for pick 57, and he's like, "No,
Yeah.
no, like we can't do." So he said, "We're going to correct this," and I'm like, "See that, guys? This is what real boots on the ground is about. It makes a difference when you have a guy on the show and he sees that, and he's like, well, because there were some updates, like when you go and look at all of the things there, and he was talking to me about the score, and now all the newness. I'll when I click on it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and start this thing off. Here we go. Shotgun start. So Mendoza is off the clock, obviously. That was a quick one. And hey, how does this feel for you, man? How does this feel for you to not have to worry about getting a quarterback this year? Isn't that good?
Yeah, I mean that's the dream, especially this year where it's not really a great class. Like I love Mendoza, but other than that, I mean Ty Simpson's decent. I don't know if he goes round one. It's not nearly as deep of a quarterback class as like 2024 or 2023 even. So it's good to be able to focus elsewhere.
Okay, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So here we go. We have pick 25. The Jets want to trade us pick 33 and 2027 second rounder. Now I was talking to Ian and I said, listen, Ian, if we had like a dynasty type mock draft, that'd be dope, because then I would actually be interested in getting next year's second. But for me, when I do these, if I need just a little bit of juice to get me over the top to make a trade happen, I will trade next year's 7th and 6th, because I'm not worried about it, because Poles has to worry about it and I don't. I get my trade done, for this draft. But what does a second rounder for next year do for me for this mock draft and my grade? Absolutely nothing. So I don't know what you want to do with this. If you want to counter, because I know you said 5 to 10 later, and this would be in that window. So but that's the first one with the Jets. The next one, and again, you could see the value that you guys talk about. It's 245 there, and we got 230. So we potentially would win that one. And then here's Arizona. Pick 34, 65. So that gives us one extra pick in the top 90 when we get to 65. And pick 217, which I think you could potentially do some damage with, since you know what the heck's going on in this draft. And then you got Philly. They want 54-68. And if they want to give us next year's second rounder, they might want to give us this year's third rounder or fourth or whatever they got. So there's ways that we might be able to counter. Like you said, you aren't going to go out and look for it, but it found you. Is there anything here that interests you, or do you just want to pick at 25?
Let's see. I'm looking
at
that. That Jets one.
Okay, but just really quickly,
who's still available?
I want to tell you who's available first before we go trading away. We got Spencer Fano, Akeem Mesidor, and Casey Conception, Blake Miller, Brandon Sis, and how do you say his last name?
Cisse.
Cisse. Okay, thanks. Jeez, I don't know.
No, you're good.
I just wish everybody's last name was Miller or something,
Yeah, please.
TJ Allen. So I think we're getting pretty far there, unless we do trade with one of those 32, 33. In that sense, you potentially might get TJ Parker or Max from Arizona State at 34, 35, something like that. So that's what we're looking at. And then you got your guy McNeil Warren at 38. So that's what's available right now, brother.
So I really like that Jets pick, because that Jets trade, because like I mentioned, I mean, I know it's it's a next year pick, but that's probably going to be really high, because that's a rebuilding team. You're going to get an early second round pick out of it. You're only moving up moving back 8 spots, and like I said, there's still pretty similar talent.
Okay,
I like, if I'm staying put here, I'm taking Mesidor, but I think that the thought of an extra second round pick next year is really enticing. So if they offer that to me, I'm taking it.
Okay, well, we'll take it. My rule is not to do that, because we don't gain anything this year, and we can't look at next year, but because we're just drafting, but I like your thought process here. It's smart. So let's do it. You're a real GM right now. So let's do it. There we go. So we trade away. Now we got a second round draft pick next year. So so these guys want to trade us pick 33, 129 for their pick 45, next year's second and next year's third. Now, I know that would really interest you, but now we're starting to really
Yeah.
chip away at this year's draft, you know? So
Yeah.
we would lose a 33 and go to 45. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
I probably wouldn't take that one. And then
This one's
yeah, that's
56.
another.
That you got 56, 81, and next year's second. So you'd have 2 seconds or 3 seconds next year. It's ours plus the one we just traded for. And then this one also 56, 81. And they want our 33 and 129.
I'd probably just stay put here. I'd
They
probably
put
stay put and take the pick
okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay. So who are you looking at? Are you looking at Kristen Miller from Georgia, or is there somewhere else you're going with this?
Let's see.
You got
I want
Warren
to see which edge rushers are available. I'm
edge.
curious.
Okay. Then you got
Yeah.
Warren there. And then so let's go defense, and we're going to go to edge. You got Malachi Lawrence from UCF and Zion Young from Missouri. And then Jackas from Illinois.
Let's see.
In case you follow also.
So, because I'm also thinking about like who's going to be available with those other second round picks, and I'm looking.
Mhm.
I don't think Yakus would fall there. I don't think Lawrence or Young would fall there either. What about let's see defensive tackle? Let's see who's there.
Yeah, you got Kristen Miller at 31, and we're at 33. So he fell 2 spots. And then you got Lee Hunter at 44, then Caleb Banks at 55. I think he fell so far because of that foot you were telling us about. And then Grayson Halton at 66, which I know the Bears are kind of high on because they, looked at him for the Oklahoma day and all that. So
yeah, so I'm looking at Halton in the second round later, and then edge rusher. I like Zion Young. Honestly, I like.
Yeah,
Zion
and then
Young.
linebacker we could still get later. Jacob Rodriguez is there,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you can do some damage with other linebackers that you see right there on this.
No, absolutely.
So you're looking at edge, and you're going to go ahead and say that we'll go Zion Young right now.
Yeah.
So you're okay with the fact that we're at pick 33, and he's potentially falling to 48. Go ahead and drafting him right now. You're good with that.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I mean, the simulator might not love the draft grade, but I think that Young is probably going to go higher than 48 in real life.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm good with this. He fits physically what the Bears need at defensive end. He consistently got better in college, year over year.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to like there. So I'm good with, even though he's, 48 compared to 33. I'm still good with that. And I think I do think that he probably goes closer to I think he probably goes closer to 33 than he does 48 in real life.
So this is what I like that you guys added all of this right here, this info, the color, everything just got better, man. And I was happy with where it was at. And now all of a sudden, look at this, baby. PFSN grade 81.81, PFSN rank 88, edge rank 13, ADP. Look, all this stuff, all these, and then you're talking about his arms and everything that's right here and all this cool stuff. You got this graphic where it shows where, he's got a 9 explosiveness, 9 motor, 8.7 pursuit, agility, twitch, 8.6, and 8.1 power. I mean, really, it helps break down what you've got here, man. You help us do a lot of the work, so we feel like we're ready. And then here's down here, balance and leverage is low, 6.9. I wouldn't say really low, but it's not in the blue area. So and then 5.9 for the bend. So we got to get him to stretch or something. I don't know. 5.5 on the hand usage and execution. So it's all there. And Jacob knows what he's getting. We're going to bring this guy into the building. And obviously he's been drafted a lot, 100,982. And we're about to make it 983. So Zion Young, you are a Chicago Bear. I used to do that NFL jingle, but they hit me on the copyright. And I'm like, what the heck, man? I'm so bummed out.
Come on.
So I like this one because now I'm starting to think like you a little bit in the sense that San Fran wants to give us 58 in next year's third, and they want 57 for 129. Now, I will say this. We're only falling one spot, and we're getting a third from next year. But where's that third at with San Fran? Because they're a pretty good franchise. I feel like it'd be a late pick, but
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
how do you feel about this pick right now? Or is this a place where we really need to do some damage and go ahead and select a guy?
I think it's not bad value at all.
Yeah.
I think for the sake of this exercise, I say we'll just stay put and make the pick. But I think if they offer that in real life, that's not bad value at all. So I
Yeah.
guess let's see who's on the board for us here.
So you got at edge, you got Mason Thomas. I don't know how you feel about that guy. Joshua Josephs for edge. Danny Dennis Sutton in 96. That's for edge. For defensive tackle, you got Lee Hunter. Wow, he was supposed to be picked at 44 and he's dropped to 57. Pretty good value there, but you still got Grayson Halton, and I think you can get him later because we got pick 60 yet. So I mean, I don't know if you want to go out and get a linebacker. Are they deteriorating, or can you still get value later on? Or are you looking at cornerback, safety, offense? Where are you looking at here, bro?
Let's see corner, safety, and then let's see center. I think there should be good value at any of those places. But
Keontae Scott, Will Lee, Davison. Okay, I'm not even going to say your last name, sir. From Ohio State, Malik Muhammad, and I think that's where we'll cap that. Safety, Kamari Ramsey, Louis Moore, which Ian was really high on. He goes, I don't care if he's at 81, you bring him home because this guy can play really good everywhere.
Yeah.
And Jalen Kilgore, Bud Clark, Zaki Wheatley, Michael Tafe, and VJ Payne. So that's probably as far as we're going to get there. And then what was the third position you said to look at, sir?
Center.
Okay. Offense center. Somebody did ask earlier if you thought that we would potentially go for center in the third round or something like that. Right now you got Sam Hetch right there at pick 56. And I got a question for you before we move forward, because this is important to me. And then Parker Brailford from Alabama, and Connor Liu, Brian Parker, and then Jaeger Burton, which the Bears talked to that guy, Jaeger Burton, aka Jaegermeister. That guy right there is somebody that might interest me, that Jaeger, and only because he's later on. Sam is kind of interesting because now I'm like backfilling a position that we already have because we went out and got that Bradbury dude, and I feel like he's going to be good for this year. And if he struggles, falters, or get injured or something, then you elevate a guy. But I don't know if I want to pick a guy as a bench role right now this early to sit back behind when we need a guy that could potentially start. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm good, especially with the value in this class. I'm good waiting on center until round 3 or round 4.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of good value there. Burton, Brian Parker, Logan Jones. We got some good options there.
Logan Jones, yeah, good point.
Yeah, so I say pass on center for right now.
Okay.
Safety, I really wish AJ Halsey was there. He went a couple picks before, it looks like. So I'm looking.
Can I ask your honest opinion, because he's a local guy? What's your take on Caleb Tiernan? Is he solid from Northwestern, or is he just kind of?
No, he's good. He's good. I think he's a bigger dude. He's got shorter arms, which I think is it can limit his reach a little bit, but I think he uses his hands well. I think he brings good power to the position. I think that he does a good job of, like I mentioned earlier, kind of the same, overcoming a lack of length with good placement at the point of attack.
Whoa, he's got some good comps over here, man. Gray Zabel, Robert Gallery, Will Campbell. I like these picks, man. People are a little low on Will Campbell right now, but I don't think you give up on him just because he had a rough Super Bowl.
100%.
He still did a lot of damage throughout the season.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So where are you at right now in all these positions, man? I'm sorry, did I cut you off or?
No, you're good. I think I want to go defensive tackle here. I
DT?
think.
Okay.
Yeah. And now I have to balance, do I go with my board or do I go with what I think the Bears do or what fits the scheme better? Because I have Lee Hunter and Caleb Banks both ahead of Grayson Halton on my board, like they are in the consensus here.
Yep.
And I think Lee Hunter especially would be a ton of fun in Chicago.
Okay.
But I think that Halton is a better fit for the defense.
Okay. Well, can I ask you this? Would you be interested on doubling down, getting Lee Hunter at 57 and Grayson Halton at at 60?
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that.
Would that even be
About
a
that.
benefit? And do you see that in real time where, polls would actually do that for Dennis and the defense, or is that just too many cooks in the kitchen?
See, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking. So you're bringing it. You have Dexter still on the roster, Grady Jarrett,
Right.
Gallimore.
Yep.
I don't know if they're going to have Shamar Turner at defensive tackle or defensive end. I think
That's a good point.
that would play a big issue in it. I mean, he played defensive end before, like right before he got hurt, but yeah, I don't know.
Can either of these candidates play both? Can they play edge and defensive tackle, or are they primarily just interior?
I think primarily interior.
Okay, well that answers that question. Thank you.
Let's see. I think you know what.
Yes.
Let's try and have some. Let's go in a different direction.
Okay.
I like maybe doubling down at defensive tackle. I say
Really?
if you have Shamar Turner off the edge, that's your
Okay.
group, and you add Zion Young to it.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun.
Okay.
Let's try Lee Hunter and then Grayson Halton, and then you figure out safety in the third round.
And you're only passing up on Banks because of foot issue, because of it wasn't there. He'd be drafted a lot earlier, and we might even got him a pick before all this. So, but that's what he's looking at, folks. And he wants impact guys right now. Otherwise, talent wise, Caleb Banks all day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So here's our pick 60 for 62. And then we trade our 239 for next year's fourth. We're going to stay put and.
Yeah, let's stay put. Yeah.
And Grayson Halton. I was getting Dominic Orange for a while for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy that I've heard some negative things, and we just kept picking them. And I don't know how you land on that. Let me go ahead and get Grayson Halton, and you could fill us in on Dominic Orange, because a lot of us have been.
Yeah.
That was one of the guys that in Thieneman, or no, the Thienen from Northwestern. We like picking him up a lot too. It just seems like he's available when, So, what's up with this Dominic Orange, man? Why are some people not really high on him?
So I think most of it, at least within the Bears fan base, a lot of it comes down to scheme. He's a very powerful run defender, just a big, powerful, thick dude. I think it's the pass rushing. You're drafting him. He's going to be primarily a run stuffing nose tackle type of guy. And there's a lot of value in that for sure. But I think, a lot of it, at least if it's a Bears perspective, comes down to scheme fit necessarily. So I think that that's just my thinking in the matter. But yeah, like he's a talented player. I think the third round is probably good value for him. So I'm good with that for sure.
Somebody said Turner's a better fit at defensive end.
Yeah.
Trying to get caught up. Somebody said Lee Hunter. They're happy. They're happy that we got the Hunter, man. So okay, so we're at pick 89 right now. We got two defensive tackles to catch everybody up. This is Jacob Infante. He is our guest. And before we had Jim Ozzy Osborne. Make sure you guys check us out on Chicago Sports Podcast. Make sure you check him out on XApp. And so we got an edge for Zion Young. Man, we really took care of this defensive line. Look at this, folks. Zion Young at pick 33. And we ended up getting a second-round draft pick next year. So that's why we went ahead and traded out at 25. We still got Zion Young at 33, which some folks say that he would go in the first round. And then we ended up getting Lee Hunter at 57 and Grayson Halton, both defensive tackles. So we just really shored up that defensive line, the trenches. So now we move on to picks 89 and 129. And where are you at with this, sir? What would you like to do?
Let's see. I'm curious to see which safeties are available right now.
Okay. Yeah, you got Gilmore at 98 and Bud Clark and Zaki Wheatley. What could you imagine how many people's heads explode if we went out and got a third safety from Penn State? That's just crazy.
Every single time, just keep drafting the heavy hitters at Penn State.
Yeah. He's a heavy hitter too.
Yeah. He's a hard hitter for sure. So that's if there's one thing Penn State knows how to produce, it's hard hitting safeties, I guess. I like Kilgore though. I like I like.
Okay.
I was thinking between Kilgore and Wheatley. I think Kilgore might be a better fit for what the Bears want to do.
Okay.
Uh, at safety, like that interchangeability.
Yeah.
He can play in the slot. He can play as a deep safety.
Oh my gosh, 6'1", 211. I like that.
Yeah, big dude. Hard
Yeah.
hitter. He's a physical defender. I
Mhm.
think there's a lot to like there, and he's got good ball skills too. Like, his coverage instincts are pretty strong.
Yeah, he's also best as a big nickel, but built and he could do a lot of things. I like it, man. Glue guy.
Yeah.
And I like his ADP at 99.4, 103,264 people have drafted this guy. Man, it's clearly the guy that you get. You can't wait for him to fall and hope that he goes to 129. You could
Yeah.
still potentially get Zaki Wheatley, but honestly, he might be gone too. So I think this is the sweet spot where we got to go get our safety. And if I'm hearing you correctly, we go get Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are a Chicago Bear. So, man, you're doing the heavy lifting, man. Thank you. I'm so glad. It's one of the easiest mock drafts that I've had. So
Here we go.
Doug says it looks like a good fit. So he likes her selection, sir. So now we have pick at 129. What are you looking at right now? Are you going offensive tackle, guard, center, any more defense, linebacker? Let's look at linebacker real quick. Just really quick. Ooh, Caleb, how do you say that name?
I've been saying it Caleb Elamzor. That's how I've been saying it.
Or KEO. I like it.
Yeah. Just keep it nice and quick.
Touring York from Texas A&M, Kendall Daniels, Jack Kelly. I mean, where do you land with these guys?
See, there's some good value there for sure.
I feel like we got to get one because our next pick after this is 239, bro. We might be able to trade back at a 129 and still get KE or even Touring York, trade out of 129. I know you said you didn't want to go looking for one, but I think if we were going to do that and force multiply and get something a little bit later and get an earlier pick so we can double down, I think this might be the sweet spot to do that, because after that, 239 is not really ideal and 241 isn't really either.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're willing to compromise here or if you just say, let's go out and get a guy, because I'm good with either,
Let's see. Because I like the linebacker value. I also noticed Logan Jones, the center from Iowa, is still there.
Okay.
I think that's a future starter.
Okay.
At center.
Let's get him.
You can get him. I want to try something here. So
go
to draft results real quick.
Draft results.
Yeah. Top left. Let's see. The Dolphins are 130. I'm curious what it would cost to trade up to package our. So let's see.
Just one spot.
A trade.
Okay.
No. So if we move up with our 7th round picks and give up like a future 4th or something like that.
Oh,
to get that pick now.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we take. So Miami.
Man, that's crazy work there. I like that. Okay, so we want to get their what is it?
Let's try 130. Let's see what it costs for that.
Yeah, 130. Okay, so we'll start off with one of these. Not a chance.
Yeah.
One of these.
Let's see.
Not a chance. A little better, but not gonna do it.
Let's see a future 4th.
Oh, we're close.
Yeah, let's do that in 239. See what they think.
How about 241?
Let's try that.
Try there first, and then now. Yeah. 239.
Let's see. You're close.
I think it will let go.
Let's try proposing it. Let's try proposing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's rough. I feel like I should have gave us that, man.
Yeah. Do we throw in 241 as well, and then move up?
I mean, ideally you already got yourself a hookup for the 2nd round next year, so you can go ahead and do that move only because of that, and I'm okay with that because the late picks don't really do it for me, and we want 130. Yeah. I think we got to be a little aggressive on this, so we'll go ahead and do the 4th, is what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, and the 2 7s.
There you go, 2 7s. Boom.
Let's see.
I like it. I'm
Likely
good.
accept. Okay, let's see.
Done.
Okay,
Good
good. All
work.
right.
Good work, sir. So
All
now
right.
you go back to back. So now
Here
you
we
want
go.
Logan Jones. I know that. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the
Yeah.
way, right?
Logan Jones, and then let's look at the linebackers.
Okay, now we go to linebacker. Dude, great job.
Here we
I'm
go.
glad you had a little compromising there. And
Oh
I
yeah.
honestly, I think we could still trade back one more time and force multiply and get an extra pick out of this pick and still get the linebacker that you so desire here, because there's a lot of wiggle room in between 130 and 140. Maybe if we drop to 135, and even if KEO leaves, we still got Torian York.
Yeah. Let's try 135. So the Steelers.
Okay, with the Steelers.
Let's try that. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go Steelers, Pittsburgh. Come on. Hope your coach is not really paying attention, because we want to slide this through, sir. And then we're gonna go 135, and let's see what do we want? Tried sixth? Nope. Third. Oh, there. Go ahead and do it.
No.
Third's too much.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's do 130. 130 for 135, and then let's can we throw in they're probably not going to take 161, but let's what does that look like?
We're almost there.
What about 216 instead? I don't know. I don't know if I'd trade any additional draft picks in 27. I think you're good for now on that end.
Okay.
Let's see 216. Would they accept 216?
216.
Oh,
from us?
They're giving us
216 from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do it.
Let's
no,
try
they
that.
won't. No, they won't. It says close.
What about 224?
Oh, but if I throw in the 7, we're good. Still no. 224.
Probably.
Right.
Let's try 224.
Yeah, it looks like it's close.
Yeah, I think let's try that. Let's try that. Yeah.
I think another team, if we go back just a little bit far to maybe like 138, we would have to give up less.
Yeah.
But, I really feel that way. I feel like the 35 is a little rich, but you want to try this?
Let's give it a shot.
Give a shot. Okay. Rejected. Yeah, we don't want to trade with you, Pittsburgh. You're being punks right now.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Oh, look, the Niners got 138 and 139. They might budge. This might be a good trade with the Niners.
That might be a good idea.
Let's go 139 because it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
Oh well, they don't have any. They don't have any late round picks this year.
No, but they got 133, 138, and 139. They got a lot right there. Look at that. So
yeah, let's see. 130. If we give them 130, and they give us 139, and they're fifth next year, what does that look like?
Oh, that's what I now I understand what you're saying. The dummy light came on. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let's go with another team. Let's go Eagles. Let's see what happens with Eagles.
Yeah, let's try that out.
You work so well with people, like you just like let me stay lost because you're like, I don't want to hurt this guy's feelings, but it's not going to work out, dude. Appreciate you, dude. No. Okay, so we're good there, but we can do more, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? 197, 178, 153. Where do you want to work? Let's try shoot the middle.
Let's see what they do with. Well, let's try 170. Okay, probably not. 197 then. Let's see. Close.
Very close. Very close.
Okay. I don't propose that. Wait. Yeah. Propose.
I don't think we. I don't think we do. Oh, you want to try? Go ahead with 197.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to go because
the simulator usually doesn't accept that. But I mean, you never.
Right.
It's worth a shot, I guess. Sometimes it works.
Okay.
I
got
you.
No. Let's try one other one because I don't want to fall into the. Well, I guess we could still try. Let's fall into the fifth. I don't think we're gonna have much luck even with the Saints.
Yeah.
Let's look at fifth round with the Texans.
Yeah.
Let's try Texans.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the sweet spot there, maybe. Okay, so Houston, boom. Man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Making me work for this, bro. So Now let's see. They got 167. I doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be late. They're giving us a 243, but we're dropping 11 spots. I don't even know if that's worth it, bro. Honestly,
Let's see.
you know.
Do they have a seventh rounder next year?
They got a 2 6.
Let's try their future sixth and 243. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they shut it down. They didn't even want to trade. The only thing they're going to give up 243. I mean, you could go. Let's see what Texans. I don't feel like giving up a whole lot right now. I'm getting kind of frustrated. I'm like, dude, this is rough, man. I've never been rejected so much before. Oh, okay.
They've got some 142.
Okay.
Let's see, 190, 184.
Oh, 184 almost
194?
went. Oh yeah, 194. What about? Well, I mean, if we go 225, we can give them a seventh next year. Yeah, I don't know. No, because we're really picking at 27. We'd only be 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm good.
I think they're good.
Yeah, I'm good with
194.
I'm good with that. Let's see if they can take that. Yeah.
Okay. What if we went 144? There you go. 144 and 194. That's better than 225, right?
Well, yeah. Well, let's if we could do
we could do 142 and 194. Yep. Okay. Yeah. We like that, right? We're good. Okay.
Yeah. That works.
Thank God.
Sweet. Okay. There you go.
Just for the ladies at home, if you ever want to know this, your birth is almost giving birth is almost as rough as this, but not quite. This is rough. So I think we need to stay put and not worry about any.
Yeah.
So we're dang it, they got Bo Stevens. I really like that guy. So you still got KEO here for TCU linebacker or Torian York. So who's your favorite between the two for a linebacker?
I'm going to take Elam Zor. I think, he's a bigger dude. They're both athletic linebackers. I think they'll both be good on special teams, but
Zor, 6'2", 230. I agree with you. That's a good one there, bro. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. And then he was drafted 42,000 times. Oh man. Yeah, people like him. All right, here we go. You were a Chicago Bear. Man, you're doing some good work, sir. They made us work for that one, dude. You need to talk to somebody in the office about that one. That was rough. Like, you guys won. You guys got it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right, so now where are we at now? Like, I know you said value is probably not that high for offensive line, whatever. Are you looking at running back here, tight end, or what are you looking at? What's your position that you're interested in looking at? So, BPA?
Let's see. I mean, I like so the BPA on this board is Cole Payton. I don't think they take quarterback because they've got Bajan and Keenum on deals already.
What's he talking about? Somebody, hold on a second. Let me address this guy because he does this from time to time. Bro, we took a center earlier. We got Logan Jones on our team. But he said we skipped on a center. Well, we didn't. We got a center. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's see. I'm thinking receiver here.
Receiver? Okay, so you got Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech. He's there. Is that a guy you like or no? Or do you want?
He's good. He's good. I think him.
Jeff
Caldwell's really interesting because his production was just okay this year, but he tested insanely well at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you pull up his page, you'll see. Like, I don't have the numbers in.
6 foot, 190.
No, Vinny Anthony, he's good. I'm thinking.
Oh, is that the guy you didn't want me to look at? You're Caldwell, right? Was it Caldwell?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. 6'5". Whoa, baby. Yeah, it's 200 pounds, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. A 10 RAS. Holy cow. Man, this guy is something else, dude. Projected 6th rounder. Yeah, dude. I like this guy. Look at
that 40-yard dash.
4.3, 4.31.
Yeah.
Vertical 42, almost jumps over a car. 11'2" broad jump, size and speed. Burst set him apart, but the rest of the profile still needs work. Hey, I think this is a good one. Are you good with get going a receiver right here?
I'm good with this. Yeah. Caldwell I think that works
Okay.
for sure.
I mean, it's late. If anybody's got a complaint, just remember it's a late pick. So we did some good work there. We picked up a linebacker, man, and we got ourselves a really good linebacker, and we got ourselves a receiver. So I'm happy. I think it was a good draft.
Too.
Look at this. Where do you find the score? I always looking. Is that going to be updated soon? I think is what he said, right? Is that what he said?
That's going to be updated soon. They're working on the like the beta versions of it right now. The developers they have in house.
Oh, so it might even happen before the draft, potentially. Maybe.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't want to make any promises, but I think
breaking news. You still got a few days left in March, and you got a few days left in March, and you got 20 days or so left in April before the draft. So yeah. So here we go. This is Jacob Infante's work, man, from PFSN. Check this out, guys. At pick 33, Zion Young, edge out of Missouri. 57, Leon Hunter, defensive tackle, Texas Tech. Pick 60, Grayson Halton, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. I'm really liking this so far. I just want to let you know. Jason Kilgore, pick 89, safety out of South Carolina. Logan Jones, 129, offensive center from Iowa. And then KEO, Elarms, or linebacker TCU at 142. That was a nasty trade we pulled off there. And Jaldwell, wide receiver, Cincinnati, 194. And then earlier, when we traded out of 25 to 33, force multiplied, we got a second-round draft pick from New York Jets. So, hey, man, everybody, shout out to Jacob Infante for all his work and his time and effort with us, man. There you go, bro. So, yeah, you got any closing thoughts? You got anything cooking right with us that won't get you into trouble? Or I don't want you to give us all your 11. I don't want you to give us all your 11 herbs and spices, but give us a little something, a little.
Yeah. So we have I've got a couple prospect interviews coming out, like articles at PFSN. So
what do you mean by interviews? What do you mean by interviews? I'm sorry.
So like they're written articles talking with draft prospects and stuff like that. So I think I had one that is supposed to go live this morning. I was supposed to check, but just talking to players, stuff like that, learning about learning about their stories, their their journeys from going from college to the NFL level, their backstories, getting to know them off the field, stuff like that. So
wow.
I've had a couple come out the last couple of days as articles over at PFSN. I should have more in the coming weeks and days and stuff like that. So I think that's the big thing. So I definitely recommend checking that out for sure.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. Can you send me that what do you call it? The link for that, because I really want to check that out, bro.
Yeah.
I love your work, man. You do good. Can you tell everybody where they can find you everywhere? Because I know we all want to get to know your work better. It makes our job easier and it helps us get knowledgeable. And I still say this, out of all 32 teams, our fan base is by far the smartest out of all 32,
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, there's a want to learn. And I think there's so many cool resources out there to, be able to, educate, which is really sweet. So you guys can follow me on Twitter at Jacob Infante 24, on Twitter X. You can find my NFL and like general NFL draft coverage too at PFSN. So that's profootballnetwork.com. And then my Bears specific stuff over at Windy City Gridiron. So that's where you guys can check me out. I think that's everything, but yeah, I definitely recommend. I appreciate you guys appreciate you having me on the show for sure.
Oh, bro, I'm like, we had to duct tape you and hog tie you and all that kind of stuff and throw a gag bag over your face and throw you in the van. But we found a way to get, not really, please don't come to my house. He's at his, I'm at mine. We're good. No, but seriously, yeah, man, it's always a blast and a pleasure. We feel educated whenever you're on. And yeah, man, thanks for everything.
Thank you.
I'm gonna sit back, hang out with these guys and do a couple lotteries we got going on for some other stuff. So but yeah, man, you're good to go. And thanks again, man.
No, appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me. It was a good time. So thank you. Have a good
All right,
one.
man. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, guys. So we are going to get ready to get into this deal here where we're going to get back into the wheel of names and we will go over and just give me a quick second. I'm going to go ahead and get there for you. One second. I'm gonna pull this up really quick for the wheel of names. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our wheel of names. I'm going over to our chat room right now. If somebody wants that's still here, and let people know that we're going to get ready to do this, so we can pick the winner. Okay. To do raffle now. YouTube. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm doing this on the fly, and it's going to be fun. Just get it out of the way so that way we're not stacked for later, you know. But yeah, so let's get into it. I'll pull the name up. Believe we're just doing one today. Folks. So let me get the names all dialed in. We have a chat group and we've got all the names in here. So we're just, you know, there are 3 winners, by the way, for this. So what we're going to do is, or is it 2 winners? I think it's 2. Let me see. Get into this. Here we go. Oh, we're going to go, okay. 1 winner for Danimal, Dan Hampton, and the other one for Doug Plank. And, winner 3, a Caleb Williams Bears Funko Pop. So we're gonna get 3. We're gonna get 3 winners, is what it is. Okay. So let me put the names in right now. Give me 1 second, please, and I will take care of you guys. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time, but we got a lot of correspondence in this chat here. But it won't take long once I get the names rolling. I just want to be thorough and make sure I get it all in here. So, okay, here we go. So we got 2. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then we got Louis. Okay, good on that. Now we'll go Sean. Tom. Mabel. I'm just going to go straight up. I like what he said earlier. That was pretty smart. Let's just do one spin. If you guys are okay with that, I'll check the chat before we make the decision. We always make decisions together, you know. And then I'm going to do 3. We did get a center. I tried to tell you 80 times, Illinois Jones. We got a center from Iowa. We showed you. Go back and watch the tape. Go back and watch it twice. We got it. We got a center. Why we traded back. We traded back for that center and a linebacker is what we did. All right, here we go. All right, so then when you do shuffle 3 times, 2, 3, mix it up, that's why we do that. And then here we go. We're going to do 1, okay? 1 spin is for Dan Hampton. The next one is for Plank. And then the third one is for the Funko Pop, Caleb Williams Funko Pop. So here we go. 1 spin for each one. That's it. First winner's Jeff. Hi, Jeff. You win. You got a Dan Hampton jersey. Autograph. Doug, you won. Yep. You won a Plank jersey. So congratulations, you two. You both got a jersey. So that's great, man. Okay, here's the third one. This is a Funko Pop, Caleb Williams Funko Pop. Somebody put it in the chat, all 3, please, to help me out here. Louis, you won the Caleb Williams Funko Pop. All right, everybody, that completes our randomizer. We're done. Hope you guys had a good time. What's up, Speedy Carter? All right. All right, that concludes our show. I hope you guys had a good time. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this. If you're a first-time viewer, make sure that you guys do me a favor and slide into my DMs on XApp or on Instagram and leave me a message. Show me proof that you are online and that you subscribed and that you shared this. And then I will send you a jersey. Okay? That's all you got to do. And then also check me out on Believe in Bears. Right now, I'm on Spotify, so that's great, man. I'm so excited. So you guys have a great weekend. Doug Plank will be on tomorrow, tentatively noon. I'm not sure yet. He's still going to get back with me. He was going to come on today at 3, but something came up. So he still wants to honor that interview. So we're just going to move it to tomorrow, but I'll be posting a show later on. Tonight, I'll do one with D-Nice. So we're going to do one for Believe in Bears. So yeah, man, I'm excited. So hope you guys have a good weekend. I hope you guys are enjoying March Madness and all of Chicago sports. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. You guys are the best. Again, we've reached 30,000 subscribers, and I owe you all of everything, man. You guys are what make this community. All the glory and honor goes to God Almighty. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for everybody that's rock with me and staying with me. You guys can do anything that you want in your time, but you choose to hang out with Trax, and I love that. I love that about you guys. I love you guys, and you are what makes this community great. I am nothing without you. Thank you guys so much. So, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with a legend, Chicago Bears legend, Jim Osborne, and also, I want to let you guys know I've also signed with a what do you call it? National syndicate. Okay. Believe in Cubs also. So I do Believe in Cubs and Believe in Bears. So that's awesome. And we got a very special co-host coming on very soon for not only the Cubs and the Bears, but as of right now, my co-host from Chicago Sports Podcast, they love coming on and hanging out, and this is audio only, so it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a good wrinkle, it's a good option, and it's always something different. It's not the same that we do over here. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do a show over here and then go do a show over there. That's not fair, As Doug says, brick by brick, but I'm a carpenter. So is it stud by stud or nail by nail? You guys Google that, look it up. Let me know. Let me know. All right, you guys, you have a good time. Chi-Town up, bear down. And again, make sure you guys call the hotline, please. 872-256-1424. 872-256-1424. We will have a mailbag day for sure. I think we're going to listen to these with Doug Point because I got a few to catch up to. Appreciate you guys. Again, Chi-Town up, bear down. And that's another way for you guys to win a jersey of your choice. All you got to do is make a phone call. That's all you got to do.
Hops on the ice, red lights flash, goods in the summer, whole city mad. Tracks like a tone, like a ran for the sound. City ride with it, yeah, this our town. It's Chicago. Fucking here with land in Chicago. Sports podcast, yeah, we in it. Cut the take, cut the call. Whole city tell me when we turn the ball. It's Chicago. Let's pay, lean in. Chicago. Sports podcast, yeah, this spin. Same heart, same code. Sports podcast, hey, let's go.
Hey, let's go.